Okay, I just want to make a quick extra video about the flute support thing, and one of these days I'm going to make a proper full length one. But the basics, the physics of what holds the flute up, so that you don't hold the flute, you provide it with support that holds it there, so it almost floats in a sense. This is just a piece of dowel. I use it as a swab rod, and it's going to stand in for a flute for a moment. I'm just going to use it to demonstrate the physics, the principle of the 3 points. So you have one in the middle pushing back and two at the ends pushing out. I'm going to say pushing, it's not very hard, but I just want to show you how it actually works. Now I could do with an assistant for this, but I haven't got one right now. So I'm going to have to use my shoulder for one end, and I'm going to use 2 pencils just so I can show that it's not about the fleshy give of your fingers or thumb tip. They help, but you don't actually need them for this support to work. So I'm going to put one end against my shoulder and one end against the pencil there. So those are the two pushing away. And I'm just going to push in the middle with the other pencil. And as you can see, and if I turn round, if I manage to do it without slipping and dropping, there is nothing underneath that rod. And I'm not pushing very hard to hold it there. You can do this with a friend. Get them to hold 2 fingers straight up or even straight down, put the rod against them and press in the middle yourself, and see how hard you have to press to keep it there, or how light you can go before you actually drop it with nothing underneath it. That's what you do to hold a flute up. So going to a flute, I thought I'd just show this over the break business. I'll do it on a metal flute this time, so I'm not a big fat wooden tube or ebonite tube like I had with the other one, but exactly the same thing. And I'll just show you about rolling the keys away a bit as well. If you have the keys tipped back like that, all the weight, the main weight on the flute body is all the rods, the axle system here, and they make it want to roll further back. If you tip it a little the other way so that they go more towards the top of the tube, you've got slightly less of a tendency for it to roll back. So if you have the keys at least parallel to the floor, and preferably just slightly turned away from you, it just brings those rods up and there's less tendency for it to roll away. Plus you've got better space to put your thumb on. If you've got them back like that, you've almost got to put your thumb underneath, and then you don't get the pushing away. You've got to hold the flute. If you tip them like that, you can put your thumb behind the tube and push away, and then you don't need to hold the flute. So slightly turned away, and if you do that, obviously if you roll the whole flute away, you're going to roll the embouchure all away from your embouchure, which you don't want to do. So you may need just to turn the head back a little towards you. You're not rolling the embouchure in the sense of turning it into your face. You're going to put it in exactly the same position relative to your face as you used to. What you're actually done is you've rolled the flute body out. So that being assumed, there's my support, nothing under the flute, and as I showed before, I'm only very gently pushing in, and again, without an assistant, you can't really show how little pressure is needed. It's not a lot of force. Your little finger is an auxiliary when it's on the E flat key, but you shouldn't take over the job of the thumb. If you do, you'll just end up with a stiff or even painful little finger. So its job is operating the key. So all that assumed, and you've got the flute there floating nicely with very little pressure, just holding it up securely, and you can take, as I showed before, all your fingers off, including the little finger, and the flute would just stay there. So doing those scales over the break that were the issue. So that was G sharp flute, I was nearly forgetting. And being good and doing the E flat key as you should do, or if you want to be just sure that you're not using that as an auxiliary hold, just to practice the support thing, you can practice it without the E flat key, not for serious playing, but just for practicing the support.
flat key back in.